I'm Andy Weir from Nearwin, and this is the new Nokia 3 announced in Barcelona shortly ahead of the Mobile World Congress this week. This is the lower end of two new devices that were announced by HMD Global, which is now responsible for making Nokia branded devices. Now, this handset comes with a quad-core MediaTek 6737 processor, clocked at 1.3 GHz, with 2 GB of RAM, 16 GB of onboard storage, and 128 GB micro SD card slot support. You'll also find up front there's a 5-inch display with 720p resolution. It's an LCD. And on top of that, there's an 8-megapixel front-facing camera with autofocus and LED flash. And around the back, you'll also find another 8-megapixel camera with autofocus and LED flash. The whole thing has a 2650 milliamp hour battery with, as you can see, it's not removable. This is a unibody design. And in fact, the design reminds me a little bit of the Nokia Lumia 925 Windows phone that was released a few years ago, I think in 2014. It's got the same sort of style, the same textured rear back, nice and matte, nice and soft to hold, I guess. It's very pleasant to hold. You'll also find that there are dual SIM card. Are these dual SIM card slots? I'm not quite sure. I think one's SIM card and one is micro SD. And at the base, there's a micro USB port, speaker grill, microphone, and importantly at the top, you'll see that there's a 3.5mm headphone jack. The whole thing feels very nice indeed. It seems that HMD has been putting together its design knowledge to create a very handsome device. It runs Android 7.0 Nougat with certain customizations, but it certainly appears very close to the standard Nougat experience that you'll be familiar with on other devices. It's just 8.5mm thick, although there is a very slight camera bump. But that said, it's not going to be rocking around when it's sitting on a desk, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. The whole thing has an aluminium alloy ring around the handset, and the front is glass. The device will come in 4 colours: silver white, matte black, tempered blue, and copper white. And this device will be priced at €139 when it goes on sale in the second quarter of this year. I think that this is a very handsome device indeed, and especially for the price, I think it could be incredibly popular. For now, that's your first look at the Nokia 3. And this is the second of the two devices to be unveiled by HMD Global at the Mobile World Congress this week. It's the Nokia 5, slightly larger than the Nokia 3. This is the mid-range addition to the Android lineup. You'll find a 5.2-inch display up front with 720p resolution. On the inside, it has an octa-core Snapdragon 430 processor, along with 2 GB of RAM and 16 GB of onboard storage, plus a micro SD card slot that supports 128 GB cards. In that respect, it's pretty much identical to the Nokia 3. Key difference is around the back, you'll find a 13-megapixel camera with phase detection, autofocus, and dual-tone flash. You don't have that option available on the lower end 3. Up front, there's an 8-megapixel selfie cam with autofocus, but unlike the 3, there is no front-facing flash. There is a larger battery on this device. It's 3000 milliamp hour versus the smaller version on the 3. This device also comes with Android 7.0 Nougat. It doesn't really look very different, but it is the much newer version of the OS. 7.0 was released last September, I believe, and 7.1.1 was released in the last couple of months. When this device goes on sale, it will be shipping with the newer version, although by that point 7.1.2 will be out and possibly even newer versions available. It has the same aluminium alloy bodywork as the 3, although there's more of it on this device. As you can see, the entire rear of the device is clad in the aluminium finish. And it's very handsome indeed. It's much like the 3, it feels absolutely rock solid, no flex at all in its construction. The whole thing, before I, oh good lord, almost dropped it there, as the HMT Global guy was looking disapprovingly at me in the distance. Don't worry, I'm not going to drop it, it's all okay. Yeah, it feels fantastic. It's 8mm thick, although there is a slightly thicker camera hump on top, although it's just 0.5 millimeter, so that shouldn't upset too many people. Again, you'll find a micro SD card, a micro USB slot at the bottom. This isn't USB Type-C, unfortunately, and that's a little bit of a shame, I think, especially on a mid-range device. But that said, there are other nice features on this device, including a fingerprint sensor, which isn't available on the Nokia 3. Now, the Nokia 5 will go on sale in Q2 of this year alongside the 3. This device will be priced at €189, €50 more than the 3. That's your first look at the Nokia 3 and the Nokia 5 at Mobile World Congress.